Hey guys, welcome back to the Project Bodybuilding Podcast, which is also the last episode of the Road to the Arnold Classic series. So it is prediction time. Luckily, I have two guests to rein me in, with also some of the predictions of their own. We have Kinson Jardine from EP09 Bodybuilding. Which one are you?
Which one is who?
Oh, I can't tell. You guys are so alike. And then not Fozzy Fitness, but actually Xavier Wills from Desktop Bodybuilding.
What's up?
Yep. So this is going to be a spicy one. I have not made any hard predictions. We're going to make my hard predictions right up here with the help of the current updates we have, with the help of the show placings up until this point, and of course my two lovely guests and all of their knowledge.
So your predictions currently are flaccid.
Oh, beyond flaccid, beyond flaccid.
Such
You
an
would
emotional word.
there. Some would say inverted with the lack of foresight I have right now.
Okay. I'm glad you said foresight. I was going to say lack of something else.
Okay. Okay.
Doesn't sound like there's a lot of weight in these predictions.
Oh, there
Mm.
will be. There will be. As you guys know, I have the best eye in the bodybuilding YouTube scene. So what I say goes.
No. I haven't even come back yet. I'm
For
still
the
like
record, that's
getting into it.
self-proclaimed. That's self-proclaimed.
Kinson,
Self-proclaimed,
you
to
have
say
the
the
worst
least.
eye in this sport. I don't want to hear it. But we'll get
Listen,
into that.
2023 Texas Pro, I got it right, okay? I got it
Imagine
right.
imagine your resume, you pulling out your resume, and it's one show from 2 years ago. And it's like, oh,
I
who
know,
did you
right?
predict? A guy with great genetics in third, and then Hunter in second, then Andrew in first. No one could have predicted that. No one could have predicted that. That's
Nobody
crazy.
did.
I don't think that's true. Andrew was the heavy favorite going into there.
It was too long
Anyway,
ago. I can't remember.
anyway, we have predictions to make now. So Ron Harris has made his predictions, but I'm sure mine are
Well, they're probably
automatically
wrong
better.
too.
Probably.
Yeah.
So first, what I want to do, we're going to take a look at everyone's recent updates, all 11. Let me pull up the list here. So
Are
we
we on the
have,
screen?
yes, you are. Why do
Okay.
you always ask
Good to
that?
know.
Why are you so nervous?
Because I just want to know if I don't know.
Oh, okay. They took the list off their pinned, but I know it's like high up. So I have two questions first. Um, I thought about just giving you guys a top three of each of these questions from my perspective, but I was like, oh, we can each give one. There's three of us here. So first up, to start off our, we're going to look at every guy, but how we're going to start is I'm going to ask you who is the most overlooked slash overhyped going into the show, and who is the most undersold, or the term that we commonly use is dark horse. Who is your number one dark horse? So let me pull up the list here. I'm going to go ahead and save this so I'm not searching for it. So this is the list. Everyone is on this list is competing except John De La Rosa. And is there not an amateur competing from last year? Well, he's a pro now, but like
I don't believe so. I can check the IFB Pro website. I'll check it while we're
that's
while we're
I'm pretty
talking.
sure that's what it said there. But
Yeah, not that I'm
respectfully,
aware of.
respectfully, it doesn't matter. Like to go from the Arnold amateur to the Arnold next year, what's the likelihood you'll be able to do anything? It kind of makes the invitation that people do get from the Arnold amateur a little null and void because it's just like what's what's gonna happen. But this is the
Oh
list.
wait, there is.
Yes,
It's
he's from the Middle East.
Hussein Medin Elisawi from Libya.
Yeah,
Look
I
him up.
also actually liked Gaddafi. But anyway, Kinson, who is first the most overrated guy, over talked about, overhyped guy going into the show?
Overhyped and over talked about individual going into this. Well,
Yes.
as for who is being spoken about,
That's what I'm asking.
um, in such a light, overhyped. No, this is difficult. I don't know if anybody's being particularly overhyped. I think that the predictions that I'm seeing out there are so wild and so
They
uh,
vary a lot.
so different. The very very different predictions from just about everybody out there, from professionals to commentators to fans. I have seen them all, and there's no other show that I can remember that actually happening at. So if you really did have to pick one that was probably the most overhyped.
But we won't know for sure. Let me say that. Like we don't know yet, but who would you say should not be overinflated at this point? Not that he can't do well, but is probably you should maybe pump the brakes to be safe.
Okay, okay.
Because we don't know if they're really
Um,
maybe they do live up to the hype, but some guys do get talked about more than others. And sometimes it's not
so
justified going in.
you know what? If I had to pick one based on the last week leading up to the show,
Okay.
and someone that wasn't really spoken about beforehand, Brandon Curry is being hyped a lot. And one of the things about Brandon Curry being so hyped is that he has put out some impressive updates. Even today, he put out some impressive updates. However, none of these updates show his legs, and that's always a
Right.
concern. Now, he did have some shots a number of weeks ago where he did show his legs, but even from what I saw there, I think that he's being overhyped to do better than I think he'll do.
Okay.
I think he'll do well, but I don't. I think that if you had to pick one to be overhyped, especially based on his track record of the last few shows, I'd probably pick Brandon.
Something funny I noted about Brandon. You cannot tell me genetics is like some people say, "Oh no, hard work beats genetics all the time." Look at how Brandon trains and tell me you get away with training like this in the gym. Hold on. You got to pay attention to when he actually starts the set.
Okay.
Hold on. I promise it's good. Okay.
Okay.
You you
Hmm.
go.
It's a weird machine, man. I don't know.
Okay, what is that range of motion? 2 inches? I know my way around 2 inches. That's a poor range of motion.
It
So
does,
he
but
would
the
have
thing is,
been,
it doesn't matter for Brandon.
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't. It doesn't. But
yeah.
this was 5 weeks
No, but
ago.
yes.
Well, I like that machine. You see, I think his legs look pretty damn good. Like I think they're the best they've been in a couple of years.
I agree, but I still think compared to the upper body that they're going to look out of balance.
Yeah, because his upper is coming in nice. I think the legs from a side, there's no problems there. I think his legs from a side will actually look super impressive.
Yeah, they're
It's more
never
just from
bad.
if he has it from the front and the back, really. That to
Yeah.
me, that's
No.
that's crazy impressive.
Is his Olympia footage on here?
Yeah, but the Olympia he wasn't as good. We know that when he
Okay.
started his
What's
prep.
the rule, Xavier?
What do you mean?
You're only as good as your last showing. I don't make the rules, but it's a solid predictor.
Yeah,
And
I get that.
look, Brandon Curry is also on my list as well. Like I did have a soft top three ready for the same questions I'm asking you guys, but I think he is overhyped. I think some people are saying he's going to be third. There's, I'd give it a 5% chance. Not, I mean, that's a chance, but to he needs to get bigger in the legs and more shredded. He's getting more shredded, um, but he's 40 years old. He's not growing into shows anymore. That's not a possibility for him, especially because he's not doing this thing where he's been away from the stage and then he's been off and then he can grow into a show, getting back on the SUPPS. He was at the Olympia 4 months prior. So it's like,
Mm.
how much do you downsize and redo it? There is an argument that maybe he retains size and then he can add a little bit more, but I don't see it. So Xavier, um, who is your most overhyped guy going into the show?
See, I don't like this question because I know a lot of the guys, so I don't like to say anyone's overhyped because I think any of these guys can push up and any of the guys from ninth that I have ninth to fourth could theoretically finish in fourth. you know. So it's
So
like
I
it's going
actually,
to come down
you
to
know what? Before you say that, I understand what you're saying, but I think that I don't think it's disrespectful to speak of who is being spoken about out there based on your observations. Not necessarily your opinion, but more so your observations of the talk that's happening online. Who is being
Mhm.
overhyped, you know?
It's
Or
it seemed like when the updates came out of Carlos's camp, like the initial ones, I was like, oh, it's a bit dangerous because I know that he's going to get hyped pretty hard, and then he doesn't put as many updates out, and then obviously he falls down in everyone's predictions. And I was victim to that as well. I was like, oh, I think Carlos will be top 5 or whatever, and now I'm like
Mm,
leaning towards maybe a bit lower. And we saw those
mm.
updates just come out today. So if I had to pick
Ah,
anyone, I would say maybe Carlos, because a lot of people are expecting him to be reasonably high, and I just don't know if he has that density and if we'll have that pop, like especially seeing the updates from Clarita and James in the same lighting. The only thing with that is I think one of them's an iPhone photo and the other ones are like HD video footage from Rep One or something like that, whoever posted it. But I mean, you look at the shape, it looks phenomenal. And some people saying, like, oh, he's like in crazy shape here. And he's in probably the best shape he's ever, well, at least since being a pro, he's the best shape he's ever been in. And my waist is tight and everything like that. But and it is hard to tell. This photo could be a little bit washed out as well. But I just don't see the same level of conditioning that I see on like Sean Clarita, obviously, which is a high bar, but also, James Hollingshead in that same lighting as well. I just think there'll be more things happening, like how some people say, like more bells
he
and
just doesn't have
whistles.
the density, and that's okay.
Yeah,
This is his
yeah,
second pro show, but there's just an added level of density from Sean, even James, and obviously guys that have won Olympias and things going into the show. He just has that new muscle look, and it's a good
yeah,
look. It's a fresh look, but if you can get that roundness that Brandon Curry used to have with the amount of density he used to have, that's what we're really looking for. That's kind of it. But I think you're
yeah.
right with Carlos being overhyped. You have Phil Viz, for example. I said it the other day. If he's
So he can beat them
100%
all.
and the back came up, I can see him upsetting quite a few, if not all.
Yeah,
If
that's
not
where
all,
I saw that same comment as well, and I'm like, come on, man. Like, I would be incredibly shocked if Carlos won this Arnold Classic. Like, incredibly shocked. And that's no slight on Carlos because I love his physique. Like, I see this physique and I love it. Like,
mhm,
it's awesome. Like, the round legs look sick. He's got huge legs, tiny waist. Lats are popping out now from the front better. And I think his back will be improved. I think this will be the best Carlos we've ever seen. But this lineup is deep, man. Like, the names that we're talking about, I'm talking about that are in this lineup. Brandon Curry, former Mr. Olympia. I think he's going to be better than his ninth place at the Olympia for sure at this contest. William Bonac was 7th at the Olympia. Akeem Williams has been 6th at the Olympia before, and he's refound his form of late. Sean Clarita, 212 Mr. Olympia, who I think will actually probably be his best here, and by the latest update, it's insane. James Hollingshead will be the best he's been in years as well. And then you've got obviously like the consensus top 3. So it's like
right?
it's hard to pick him ahead of a whole bunch of those guys because they're just so good. Like, I think all of these guys could be top 10 in the Olympia this year. Like, now that won't happen because some are going to get pushed out by other guys when we get your Hunter Labradas and all that coming into the Olympia.
Okay.
So it just goes to show, I think, how good these guys are. And it's no slight on Carlos because I think Carlos is a
Right.
potential future
We're
Mr.
making
Olympia if he puts it all
predictions,
together.
and with the lineup, some guys have to be in the last placings. That just is how it is. That doesn't necessarily mean
Yeah.
they're bad. It's just some people have to take every single placing. But
Mm.
I think better now is a better time than ever. Kinson, where do you have Carlos in your predictions?
so this latest update from Carlos is actually not bad, I have to say. There's more detail in the legs than I think what we saw in Texas. This is him absolutely flat as a board, as Patrick Tor posted, as you so conveniently clicked off the screen.
I'm going to pull up
Um,
him from Texas as well.
oh, well, thank you. Patrick Tor said that he pulled him
Nate
down
Spears
basically as
picking
far as
Derek
he thought
Lunsford.
that he could. Um, his
Did you see
shape is
that?
fantastic. What's that?
It just had Nate Spears predictions up there, and it said Derek Lunsford first.
I like it. No, that's not it.
There's an odd person out there that does have Derek in first,
I don't think
and
that's odd.
no, it's I guess it's a less common answer than
For sure.
Samson just taking first.
Okay, we
So,
can note the quads because you were saying they were more detailed. I think you are right, but like
yep.
marginally. But
Well,
he's flat.
this is the
Yeah,
stage as opposed to 3 days out as well.
Right.
So we'll see. I think that he looks a bit harder through the legs,
I would
not
agree.
just detailed, but yeah. You can see even in the even through his shins, like the vascularity that's running through his his shins, his calves. It's there.
Yeah, that can
It's
pull
there.
him ahead.
Where it's possible. I'm still going to have Carlos taking third place. I
Beating
am
who out of that
maintaining
top three?
beating
Out of the predicted
st
top three. You know, the consensus.
ah yeah, beating Derek.
Okay. So someone out there made this video comparison. Let's see here. Oh,
Someone.
okay. We're gonna very quickly run through these shots, and you're gonna tell me how Carlos pulls it together and beats 2023 Derek, let alone 2024. This is a humiliation ritual, if you will.
Go ahead.
I, th-
Well, you can.
I imagine Carlos's quads on Derek. How dominant he would
That'd
be.
be unstoppable. I
Yeah.
honestly think Carlos could probably win this post. I think it's very close, but Derek's overall condition, and he even has a more exaggerated upper body. I would slightly lean towards Derek. I'd be fine with Carlos winning this shot.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you'd give
give it to Derek.
You'd give Derek more detail in the midsection.
Right.
Even pulling the vacuum, you can see that the abs are more visible for Derek, for
Mhm.
sure. Carlos has significantly bigger quads, significantly. That quad sweep is much better than Derek's, in my opinion.
Right.
Better balance from top to bottom,
Mhm.
and you'd give Derek hardness for sure. So, yeah, conditioning wise, Derek takes it, but in almost every other way, especially with the lumps and the lats, like they just look bad on Derek.
Okay. I don't think we need to talk about this one. Front lat spread. I would give it to Carlos. I don't think I'm going to get too much pushback there.
I
No.
think the thing is like in motion, like if you look at the midsection, like where how Derek's has those deep lines and how you can sort of
Yes.
just but like
Yep.
you notice that a lot on stage, like especially in person as well. When you see it in motion, you see just that shine coming off the midsection and the middle of the body, and you go, "Oh, he looks way harder." And I actually remember seeing a show in Australia years ago, and there was a guy that was bigger than another guy, and both like top level. I think both of them actually end up turning pro. Actually, yeah, both did end up turning pro. And one guy just had cutout abs, the other guy didn't, and that was sort of the differentiating thing between the two guys that really sort of got the smaller guy the win because his abs were just like like cut.
Right.
And Derek doesn't even have that cut abs, compared to a lot of guys. But when he pulls up, you still see those real deep sort of lines and separation in the
They're
abs.
better
And
everywhere but the abs and thighs.
Yeah.
yeah,
It's really weird.
Bonus point, actually, bonus point for Derek. He's actually executing the pose properly. You see Carlos's right hand as compared to his left. One is lower than the other. So
You're
yeah,
right. We should
notice
kill
that.
him.
it's important. It, well,
You're right.
Dylan.
Okay,
Dylan.
next. I give this, I think this is one where it could also go either way, but like if I put 2024 Derek up here, I think you'd realize how much Derek improved.
Yeah, well, you didn't. So.
Okay.
You want to play hardball?
Oh no, that's not it. That's not it.
Ah, boo.
Oh no.
Oh no, this is a preview. I can't put this one out there.
Oh yeah, the side leg. Hey, it's just gnarly and bigger.
Well, the side leg is better even in 2023.
I would agree actually. Derek to Derek, the side
Yeah.
leg is better in 2023.
Yeah. And you miss size these guys.
That's an interesting thing I do want to note. I Carlos will be shorter than Derek.
Yeah.
That
Carlos is
much?
Yeah.
he's in this shot in particular, I think it's going to be like about an inch. Like when they're standing head on and straight up. Carlos squats a little bit more in the side chest.
All right, you missized him. It's fine.
I don't think a whole lot. I sized him on Hunter Labrada actually, and Derek was Hunter taller comparatively on Hunter's physique, and
Yeah,
he
I understand.
Do you mean Carlos is size too big here?
No, I think he's sized
I would say
a little
no.
bit too small.
Anytime I feel like someone needs
Oh,
a
I
little
disagree.
boost, I'll size them a little bigger just because I'm a nice guy. I would say Carlos is
Uh,
probably a little bigger than he should be. Look at the heads.
That's what I thought. Yeah, that's I'd normally look at the heads.
Yeah, so realistically, he's like this.
You were gonna do that. You were-
All right, Derek wins. No, look, when it comes to the hardness of the
That's about right.
legs, no question. Derek destroys Carlos. It's not even a question. But when you look at the
Mm.
upper body, well, there's arguments to be made there. The separation from the shoulder to the arm, I think that there's more definition in the side arm from the forearm going up into the arm for Carlos in particular. No matter what version that you use, Derek looks like he has more striations in the 2024 version in the far pec. I will definitely give him that, but the size factor as well. And at the end of the day, this is a bodybuilding competition. Carlos is so much more impressive looking when it comes to his overall silhouette. He does need more conditioning, and I don't think that he would win against 2024. Side leg wise in 2023, Derek wins, but upper body, Carlos does.
And to reiterate, you said 2024 Derek beats Carlos in here overall.
The conditioning factor is just too much. It's too much.
Xavier, would you agree?
I think both versions of Derek beat Carlos here. Like, no
Okay.
offense to Carlos, I just think that side leg, it's too much to overcome in terms of conditioning.
Carlos could have
Although
the best side leg right now if he just got a little more shredded.
yeah, I think it has to be a
Yeah,
lot more
he'd have to be a
shredded than
lot
this
more.
version.
Yeah, it's a lot. It
Yeah.
is. It's a lot more. Call it for what it is. He needed to be a lot more shredded than this.
Okay.
Yeah, because that side leg's pretty blurry there, but the upper body, like I agree with Kenson. Like it, looking at this photo, I'm like, yeah, that's a lot more impressive than I even remember. But in that Texas Pro, Andrew Jacked was in the lineup as well, and Andrew Jacked was so overwhelmingly big that I think it was just a bad comparison for
I
Carlos
had
too. So
I,
yeah.
I was sizing Carlos based off of Hunter, so I got to look at the side chest. I would have had Hunter in the side chest there, and Hunter's is not even all that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So when you see
he's
side by
getting
side, I
better.
think
But anyway, do we need to talk about this one?
Nope.
No,
Okay. This one. Do you think it's close?
Nope. Not
no.
even close.
Okay. This one's bad. I gave it to Carlos in my comparison for the benefit of the doubt, right? Um, but like realistically, obviously the
No.
sizing is off, but like
The
realistically, even though
side
Derek
leg,
has
man.
flaws, yeah.
I think Derek's side tricep. I know some people say about his midsection stuff. I don't think it's. I think his side tricep's actually pretty nice. Like I don't know. I might have the opposing opinion on this, but
You do.
I think it's pretty nice shot. Like
But
the
is
side, the
Carlos's
tricep
midsection
pops.
better?
No.
It's smaller, but it's
No
not.
detail.
The abs aren't popping. Yeah, the detail's not there.
Exactly. It comes back to
That could be a
conditioning
nice
again.
shot for him. Yeah, that could be a nice
Yeah.
shot for him
Oh,
like,
yeah.
in the future.
Okay, and then Kinson, we got the abs and thighs next. And I know a lot of people, I forgot this too. You kept saying Derek is going to lose the abs and thighs, and I was like, I'm all for that. I hate Derek abs and thighs, even now. But then I forgot how poor Carlos's abs are genetically. And even against the 2023 Derek, which I hate, not even counting the vacuum, how do you not give this to Derek over Carlos?
Again, I see posing execution problems for both of these guys. Carlos, like you see where Derek is holding his hands above his head and Carlos has his hands behind his head.
Mhm.
Carlos is essentially making his arms look smaller by not opening them up. It doesn't look, it's a posing execution thing, I think, more so than what you're considering with the genetic factor. I think that his silhouette would look fantastically better if he didn't crunch down as much, and if he raised his arms up, like look at Derek, like he has really defined abs, in his 2024 version, extremely defined. But it looks like he's almost ready to it's like they caught a snapshot of him when he's just about to fall frontwards.
Mm-hmm.
He's leaning over too
I know what
much.
you're talking
So
about.
yeah, if anything, Derek's 2023 version um, is probably the best, even though it's not the most detailed. Actually, his quads are pretty detailed in that one, but the vacuum is one guy where it serves Derek well, but he has no separation in the arms in this shot. And the lumps in the lats again,
Can we
man,
talk about abs to abs? You know what the shot is called? How does Carlos win with no abs, with very poor abs?
I never said that he won. I never said that he won
We're
yet.
talking about, oh, well, actually, I wish you would give me a reach around with this pose instead of posing it. Like, come on, let's
That'd
talk
be a way
about
to
what it
win.
is.
No,
I
look,
feel
yeah, Xavier, you go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, what do you
I
feel?
feel like with this pose, like I look at it a bit different. Like I don't really I get like the arm detail thing, and when you look at it, you go, yeah, there's very little arm detail there from Derek, and the arms like look stacked from Carlos. But yeah, like you said, I'd rather see Carlos have his elbows up a little bit higher and just create more of that shape and make himself look a little bit taller, I guess, as well. Because in the lineup, I think he might look at quite squatty
Yeah.
in that ab and thigh pose, but the quads are crazy. There's no denying that, and how they bow out looks pretty damn cool, but maybe just not quite enough detail. But Derek, with those lat lumps, I've heard from people that were there, like everyone says that they didn't notice them, like, but in photos, like you can see them more obviously. So, and
Okay.
yeah, they sort of stick out when once you've noticed them, it's like you can't unsee it. You know what I mean? Like it's like now I do notice them when in reality, like when I was looking at the show, like I didn't notice until after prejudging when people started pointing it out on social media and circling them. Like I just did not see it whatsoever. But the overall, to me, like the more important thing for this pose is like the overall structure and flow, plus like how do the quads look, how do a bit about how do the abs look and how does the pose overall look, rather than just like do the abs look good, do the quads look good? It's like
You mean to
Phil
tell me you
Heath,
don't judge the abs and thighs on the abs and thighs?
I do obviously, but
There is a
it's
factor
about
to the silhouette.
I would
yeah, the
agree.
silhouette, the flow of the pose, all that sort of stuff. And like Derek, for me, in 2024 does not flow
Very thick
whatsoever
waist when
when
he
he
crunches
crunches
down
down.
on it.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
just the way, like you said, Kenson, like the overall execution of that pose, don't love it. So yeah, like there's some guys that have, maybe not the biggest quads and they don't have the best abs, but the way they execute that pose is really, really nice. But yeah, I would have the vacuum version winning because they judge it. So if they judge it, then it looks pretty damn good, that vacuum. So I'd have a clear win there for Derek. But
Yeah.
see, that looks better.
Look,
That version looks a bit better crunched, but it's perfect. And locking out the quad, I think, is a big mistake for Derek.
That quad is smaller. He should lock out the other one. um,
Yeah.
but at the end of the day, I include the silhouette as well, but it's like abs and thighs are like 40%. Well, I would say abs are half of it, thighs are 40 of it, and then 10% is the silhouette. Even if you mess around with the ratios, Derek is winning both the well, he's winning the
No,
abs
I
clearly.
disagree.
He's not winning the
yeah.
abs.
Mm. He is there.
Carlos
No,
Yeah, that
Derek
looks a
is.
lot better. Like he's much better in the pose.
By default, Carlos
No,
loses
Derek.
the abs. Carlos is not winning the abs. How could that? How could you say this?
Yeah.
This shallow 4.5 pack wins. I know
You
Derek.
can't.
Derek is
But
abomination.
just say Carlos, comes in pretty dry. The quads look damn hard. He executes the pose a bit better on the ab and thigh, opens up a bit more, and Derek hits it like he is on the left there. I think Carlos could win it theoretically, like if Derek messes up. But I think Derek would have to mess up a bit. But yeah, that's like to me, like the quads aren't super rounded, which it's the ab and thigh. It's not just the ab pose. So it's like
And
you look at Carlos's quads,
What's
they're
worse?
huge.
What's worse, Carlos's abs or Derek's quads?
Oh shit, I don't know, man.
You cannot say. You cannot say.
Man, Carlos
Carlos's
has some
abs.
serious. They're not that. They're not that bad to me. Like if he brings him in harder, like you say you have a structure, he's got that bit of a gap in the middle, but it's like so does Keon, but the way he executes it, you know what I mean? Like Carlos might change it up and hit that side ab pose. Like look at William Bonac. Bonac hits
Okay.
the ab and thigh from the front, not impressive, you know. Carlos
Right.
might come in from the side, pop the quad out, which looks crazy, and hit the
Right.
side ab. He's got the intercostals and serratus there. I mean, I think that would be a good move for Carlos if it looks
Yeah,
great. I
Derek
mean,
may actually just train like Hottie and have a Hottie Cupid midsection and beat everyone in this pose.
I don't think
And
so,
look,
but
Derek,
we'll see.
What do you mean? What do you
look,
mean? I can't do what ifs?
No, but what I'm saying, if Carlos changes the way he hits the pose, he could have a very decent ab and thigh pose.
I do want to mention Carlos, Derek has as well. You know, he's working with Cormier a little, and they're working on
Yep.
some of those shots. But we're spending too long on this one.
Yeah.
Chat,
yeah, let's continue.
comment section. Please tell these guys, for lack of a nicer term, about how much Carlos loses the abs and thighs. I can't believe what I'm hearing, and I know we're spending
Don't collect all your minions to go in on us.
minions. You mean
Yeah,
people
really
with
though.
two eyes?
Hey,
Okay,
don't, you're discriminating against the one-eyed people out there.
that's true. Hold on,
You said
I'll
you have the
grab.
best eye in bodybuilding. Your other, you like you
Well,
got
I have
one
four
good
of
eye.
them.
The other one's shit. All right, good one.
Okay, I'll put Derek's 2024 most muscular up here as well.
You put whatever you want up there, Dylan. Okay, it's your channel. You're calling the shots. Okay, and everybody, make sure you subscribe to Project
Oh,
Bodybuilding.
I appreciate that, Kenson.
Shut up, Dylan.
Okay, okay. Yeah, that's good enough. Um,
Okay.
Carlos is a very good most muscular, a little more thickness, a little more condition, and
Mm,
those are things that I can see changing in 1.5 years. I'm not saying
yeah.
he needs to completely grow a back in 1.5 years, like you guys. Like you guys are living off in fantasy Candyland. I'm saying no, he can get a bit sharper, get a bit bigger. I
Mm.
still don't think I think it'd give Derek a run for his money, but this 2024 version, I feel like people underestimate how much Derek has improved. 2023 is kind of bad. I still have him winning, but 2024 is very good.
What do you think of this pose though? The way he's executing it, like, yeah, you can say it looks better, but I remember seeing the way he hit it here in the lineup. Like, yeah, the traps look bigger, all that sort of stuff, but hitting this in the lineup made him look smaller. It's like he was hitting
What's
it
the
down a bit more.
alternative? The crab? He should stop hitting the crab altogether. It sucks.
Oh
I agree.
yeah, the
I
crab is
agree.
bad.
But
Yeah.
like standing up a bit more straight like that, like even though you go, yeah, it doesn't look as good as 2024. I think one thing is the photo quality is blurrier, which makes him look worse and not as hard. So that's one thing.
Yeah.
But just when you're up like that, it just I don't know, it just looks bigger and more impressive in the lineup. But yeah, I will agree that 2024 does on this photo look better. But I've actually used that photo in my thumbnail for my Arnold Classic preview, and it's next to Samson, and it's like
Hold on. I told you I think
I don't know, he just looks squatty right
Derek
there.
is very close to Samson in the most muscular, and you said no. You're dumb. You shouldn't have a bodybuilding channel. You should
I
consider
didn't say that.
you should consider ending it tonight.
You should end it all, Dylan, over Derek's most muscular.
I think.
Um,
Let's see. Hold on.
I don't think he matches Samson, man. Like you see Samson, he is a big boy. Like, you know, see?
Mid.
Different photos. I've got the actual photo of
Oh, you're
got
right.
this.
Because this isn't an actual photo. This is AI.
No, I've got the same photo, the same photography photo in my thumbnail, and you'll see. You'll see.
Okay. Now, let's consider from top to bottom who has better flow overall. I would say Samson, but who has better maybe conditioning? I think that it's comparable, but it looks like Derek has more detail in the quads overall, but his quads do not flow as well as Samson's do. And Samson actually might have deeper cuts in the teardrops. Well, one maybe. I don't know. Conditioning wise, you could make arguments. Obviously, I like Derek's shoulders and arms in this shot as compared to Samson's because it looks like his triceps sweep out further than Samson's.
Samson
do.
has those blurry delts too.
Yeah, and the delts might look a bit rounder for Derek. I think that they do look rounder. So This one I would call, I'd say overall, close.
Okay. But at the task at hand, I think we will jump back to that. Kinson, does either of these versions of Derek beat Carlos?
2023 doesn't.
That's fair.
I don't think 2023 does at all. 2024, if you want to go by, um, well, not just conditioning, but um, Carlos doesn't. It's funny because Carlos doesn't look like he has as big of a chest as Derek in the most muscular, but in the side chest, I think that he actually does. So
Hmm.
that's
It's
one
density.
that's one consider. I don't know if it's density. It looks like it's actually size. It looks like it's actually
Oh, I
size.
mean, he has a lot of size. It's like it's new muscle. It's not
Well,
seasoned.
Well, neither is Derek. Derek is the
That's
one that
true.
hits a super hard time about that. He's like the number one
He's
culprit for
he's
not
still
having
ahead
enough
of
muscle
Carlos.
maturity through the upper body. He's ahead of Carlos in muscle maturity, which actually says a lot about the muscle maturity that Carlos does need to gain because Derek has traditionally lacked that
Right.
since he's become Olympia champion. The two knocks for Derek was always you need to be harder for well, not just the two, but harder through the chest and harder through the shoulders. Now,
Yeah.
this looks better. This was definitely his best. Is he going to be able to improve upon this for the Arnold Classic? I don't know. Is
No.
Carlos going to be able to improve upon what we're seeing here at the 2023 Texas Pro? Absolutely.
So, winner, winner of this pose.
Carlos, well,
Okay.
of this pose with these versions, I
The two, yeah, the two I have up there right now.
mean, responsibly, I think
Yes.
you'd have to go with Derek. Unfortunately,
Right. That is the responsible take. Xavier.
unfortunately,
Yeah, Derek, easy for me, in my opinion. Like, I even think the 2023 version, I just think that's a blurry ass photo. Wait, go back to Dylan, most
Sorry.
muscular.
It is because it's
I,
taken from
I,
the lineup.
yeah, I think that would be you crispen it up and put it in the same quality as the 2024 Derek. I think that would look a lot more impressive than it looks here. And I just think the legs are more complete in 2023 than Derek's 2024 version. Although they look hard, maybe a little bit harder. I just think that with the photo quality difference, I think it look a bit better. And Carlos's isn't in perfect focus either because I feel like they're not perfectly focused here on the athlete. I feel like there's a little bit of a blur on Carlos too.
Yeah.
So I just think that maybe that's missized a little bit to make Carlos look bigger because you look at his head, he looks a little bit bigger. And if you made him a little smaller, I think the size discrepancy or and just
There
overall
is.
would look,
There is one.
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Kinson, you had Derek winning two side shots, two back poses, and then that's four right there. And then the most muscular. And then the front poses were close, so they weren't even dominant for Carlos. So, at the end of this exercise here, you tell me how outside of your hopes and dreams, Carlos wins and beats Derek at the 2025 Arnold Classic.
I'm glad you asked, Dylan. Let me tell you exactly why I think that Carlos will still defeat Derek Lunsford at the 2025 Arnold Classic. Okay.
I'm listening.
Okay, perfect. You should be. These are versions that you have used of past versions of these individuals. Okay. You went back to 2023 with Carlos Thomas Jr. No, you had to for this comparison, and I understand that. But this is not the version of Carlos that we're going to see. We are going to see improvements. There is nowhere to go but up from what Carlos has brought to the 2023 Texas Pro. For Derek, I
Okay.
think that his conditioning was phenomenal at the 2024 Olympia. It was definitely better than 2023. He was shredded. He was shredded. Look at his conditioning. There's
Conditioning, I would
striations through
say,
the
was better at 2023.
for Derek.
Yeah, overall, like if you take, he didn't have the dryness overall. He got harder in the chest, but that's about it. And then he sacrificed a little bit of fullness a little bit of hardness and dryness everywhere else.
Again, blurry pictures, but it just looks like he has more striations through the chest in 2024 that he was severely lacking. It looks like he has more detail in the side leg, especially. Look at this shot. Lighting, tan, camera, all things considered. Um, I still think that Derek has I don't think that he can do much better in terms of his conditioning than what we saw in either 2023 or 2024. I think that he, especially from the back and the side for that matter, fantastic. I don't think that we're going to see more separation in the arms from the front, and I think that you will see that from Carlos. That gives him the up on that. Just at the end of the day, Carlos has more room to improve, I think, than Derek does. And given the factors of Derek just working with Chris Aceto, and I think still I will maintain Derek jumping into the Arnold Classic for, I think, maybe not the right reasons. Looking for redemption when he should be looking for that at the Olympia. I don't think that this was the time to do it.
The Arnold Classic isn't a morality test. It's a bodybuilding show.
Exactly. So don't go into it from an emotional reaction of losing the Olympia.
Okay, well, realistically, Carlos shouldn't have even been picked.
Picked for what?
You have to win a pro show.
That was one of the things they outlined last year. I remember talking to Brian Powers. He said, I don't want to misquote him, but he did say that, we have a list of criteria, because I asked why Martin Fitzwater wasn't invited to the Arnold, because for me, he was sort of an obvious selection on the come up, placed second to Andrew Jack, had some very impressive showings. And he said, we have a list of criteria. One of them, I believe he said one of them is, one part of it is winning a show and competing recently as well. And also the other factor is being an international competitor gives you a leg up too. So Carlos really has none of that outside of the hype and the excitement and what he potentially could be. So he's picked more on potential, which did surprise me.
He'll beat some guys.
He'll beat some guys, yeah, for sure. But he'll definitely, that sounds mean. I think he'll beat Justin Rodriguez for sure, 100%. Will he beat Patrick Moore? Most likely. But Patrick Moore is actually, I think, looking pretty damn good, and he's a pro show winner.
But the buck could theoretically stop there. It really could for Carlos.
Yeah.
I think he's the most varied because he's the most untested.
Yeah.
So anyway, we should move on. Should Martin have
basically
done
we showed up here.
Kinson, was that? This is an ambush. But was that your case for Carlos?
Well, you see, this is what happened. I showed up, and Dylan decided well in advance that this was going to be the ambush on me, which he wanted to get out of the way early and spend half the show doing. So I'm glad you got it out of your system. Well, I hope you feel better, and I hope you sleep well tonight.
We've been going back and forth. It's not just me that's been going back and forth on this. You've made a lot of you've made a lot of waves with this prediction. But to be fair, some other people.
Kenson's been smoking crack.
He has been smoking crack. This is one of the.
I've been getting the most shit online than anybody for putting Carlos in the top 3.
Would anyone here like to bet $100 that Carlos is not third?
I'm not betting on the. I don't bet on bodybuilding. I don't bet in general. I don't bet. I like.
Vincent, if you did, I would bump it up to maybe even up to $500. I'm that confident. It's not even a question for me.
Would you put any money on the line versus me on any predictions?
The Carlos one, that's I'm with Kinson. I think betting on bodybuilding is stupid. I think there's a lot of politics involved when it gets close. I think it matters on the day. If I can go to the hotel rooms like 12 hours before and see everybody, sure. But like I can't do that. You have to. It's on stage, right?
Yeah, but it's percentages. Like you have a certain percentage. Like you think there's a X percentage chance someone lands inside the top 5 or whatever. It's like betting on sports. You don't know if someone's going to tear their hamstring or if they're going to actually show up and be motivated. Like you don't know. That's the whole aspect of it. If you did know or did see how they were right before they went onto the field or whatever, in like a sport, you'd have more confidence.
But this one, this Carlos one is special. Statistically, in my mind, there's a better chance of Akeem placing third.
I agree.
So that's why I'm so confident.
Interesting.
But anyway,
we'll chat again after the show.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Then we have one more question. Then we'll get into the actual predictions. Who is the most underhyped? Who is the least talked about guy that should be getting some talk? Okay, Xavier, you can go first.
Akeem.
I agree.
We're in agreement. I think so. I think that Akeem has he has an obvious weakness that everyone points out in every show, and it's hard not to because you're like, well, this guy could win it all, but the obvious weakness is the back, and it's not so much the back in terms of muscularity now; it's more the back in terms of structure, and the way it sort of inserts and the way it lays out. But he has those giant, like the traps. And sorry, I'm pointing at my screen. You can't even see
The
but
erectors.
traps and then the erectors that come down the back are
they're beefy.
fucking insane. Yeah, they're crazy. So he's got that conditioning in the back because he used to actually have a soft back as well.
Yes.
And now the back's conditioned. It's only really a bit of structure.
He's only brought his best since the Arnolds this year. He's competed in Toronto. He's competed at the Olympia. He's competed at the Big Man, and then he's competed at Romania. And even at the Arnold, he didn't like completely screw up. Yeah, he kind of missed the mark at like the prejudgings, but it's like he was able to be so good there and definitely at finals that he was placing very high at both events.
Wasn't he fourth at finals and then like eighth at prejudging?
I think he was third at finals. Yeah. I want to say he may have beat Rafa at the Olympia. I mean, at finals at the Arnold.
Was he seventh or eighth at the finals at the Olympia as well? Like he made a massive jump at the Olympia.
He beat Brandon.
Yeah, there you go. Like I thought he was like at least eighth or something. Like he was a bit up there at finals. So he jumped like three. We didn't jump 3 spots, but he was 3 spots higher, I think, at the finals or something like that. So page not found.
You can't tell from here, can you? Results?
Maybe.
Here we go.
I'll probably just have the order. Oh wait, no, it should be on there. It should be on there.
Yeah. So Akeem was what is it? Is it 5 judges?
Look at that. 60 to 40 points. Completely different. So 40 points would put him ahead of Raf. It put him ahead of Brandon.
It would put him in
put him 8th at finals. 8th at finals. And what was he at prejudging? It was below
he wasn't even 10th.
Below Jewett.
Yeah, that's crazy, Jewett. Actually.
Yeah, see, he jumps like
he was next to Bruno Santos, and that guy's gay.
We did see that questionable photo that went up where he had some white stuff and some men in dresses.
That's so weird.
That he deleted. I wish I screenshot it.
Oh,
what's up? My name's Bruno.
Just day 1. It won't. Yeah, day 2. Arnold Brazil. Well, imagine if like when I searched something, it actually came up with what I was looking for. Could you imagine if it did that?
I know. Imagine if it just came up. You searched the Arnold Classic 2024 scorecard, and it came up with a photo of Bruno.
Like I don't want classic. I want.
ChatGPT need to have like an image search thing. I feel like it would be fire.
Oh, it's evolution of bodybuilding. Okay, well if I can, I need to see.
Take your time.
I will take my time.
No,
I think day 2. The link. Why can't I find anything? Well, anyway,
Dylan is complete.
I hate when I can't find something. I just have to find it there at that point. But anyway, I don't think I'm going to find it. He did make a big jump at the Arnold, both Arnolds. A little bit better, a little more even across the board at the UK. I think he was 3rd in the UK.
Yeah, something like
that. But this is his best version in a while. This was his, and he's qualified for the Olympia too. So, because by winning the show, what do you think of this package? What does this do to me? This is why Carlos cannot place 3rd, because an on Akeem automatically beats him because Akeem is just a better Carlos. Am I wrong?
I think you're wrong.
Are you still on the Carlos thing?
What? I think the Carlos thing's so different. Like, I think they've got very different physiques. Like, Carlos has a huge.
They're very different, but they're doing the same things.
Same things.
Great side shots. Akeem wins the rear lat spread. No rear doubles. Great front shots.
Akeem's a conditioned beast nowadays, which is he used to be the opposite of that. Like Akeem used to have the conditioning issues early in his career for sure. But whatever Aceto's doing, it seems to definitely be working for Akeem. Like they've figured it out now. So that's why I have more confidence in Akeem. And my original predictions, it came down in ninth, and I felt disgusting about that because I'm like, he's going to be conditioned. Like, unless he misses his peak at prejudging and finals, he's going to place higher than that. So I just had to bump him up on,
Well, you know
consistency
about
recently.
Chris more than me. Do you think Chris and Akeem are even peaking that much anymore?
Maybe not. Like the rumor is that Aceto likes to use diuretics and things like that, but maybe that works for,
That's not a
I've heard
rumor. He
some
made
people.
me take Lasix before my show.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I got down to 110 pounds and I had to compete in bikini.
You're lying.
How'd you
Yeah.
do?
I got
Yeah.
last. I was stringy and I had no pop.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
hopefully you and Lucido learned for the next show.
Right, we did.
Okay.
This is
But
me
why
now,
did Aceto
actually.
get you to send the naked updates, though? That seemed weird to me.
He didn't have to ask. I just did it.
Oh, voluntarily. Okay.
Yeah, to show my
It
appreciation.
was appreciated. Okay.
And why
Okay,
did he
but
get
this
you
is
to
him
tuck it
3
between your
weeks.
legs, though? Do a back pose. Anyway,
This is him. This is him 3 weeks. The thing is, Akeem has
it's very
competed so
good.
much. He's not escaping the condition that he was in too long ago. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Because
Yeah,
the
that's fair.
show that he won was like first week of December, last week of November, 12 weeks
His
ago.
biceps, his biceps look photoshopped to go out towards his forearms. Is that not just me? Like his biceps look like when he flexes
They're
them,
slanted. They're
they're wanting to
slanted.
run up here,
Yeah.
like trying to get away from his head.
Better biceps than Nick Walker, not better arms.
Yes.
Biceps.
Yeah.
Do you know what's funny? There's some bodybuilders, like you look at that bicep of Akeem Williams. When you look at the biceps of like Ronnie Coleman, his bicep muscle actually on the top isn't that big. It's just the arm depth and the density of Ronnie Coleman is so
It's that
much.
brachialis.
I don't know what it is, but it's crazy. But Akeem has huge and now ripped biceps. It's impressive, and a thick chest on the front double too, which is crazy impressive.
So where do you have Akeem in your predictions now, Xavier?
Well, yeah, where do you?
Top six?
That's
Okay.
Isn't there like a muscle that runs? I said brachialis, but I think that runs on the opposite of in between the
Yeah,
bicep and tricep.
the brachialis is on the
Yeah.
outside. Yeah,
But I mean, it could still push up. It could still push up into things and
Mm.
push the tricep up. Isn't there something that? Because I know what you're talking about, Xavier. It's like the biceps. It's like someone's quad can be small, but their legs are still. Derek has that problem. Like the adductors look big, and it's like his leg is like half adductor, half quad. When really, and Raphael Brandau is the opposite. No adductor, it's full quad. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's the insertions too, like where they insert. Because Derek's legs, like that. To me, sometimes I've seen updates like even 2 weeks out of a show. I'm like, his legs are huge, but it's like it's funny because it's the way the muscle inserts. Like it goes so much thinner towards Derek's knees, if that makes sense. Like it just seems to just drop off, especially when he flattens out.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't. It's funny. It's just a structural thing, I guess. But
So, Kinson, who is your um, the bodybuilder you think is the most undervalued here?
Akeem is up there. Akeem is up there.
Yeah.
In terms of potential to do well, that's not even fair to say either. No, it's got to be Akeem. I mean, it has to be. He's easily forgotten about, and I think part of that is because for many years he did not reach his potential when it came to his conditioning factor. Now that he's done that, um, and taken top 10 at the Olympia, I think that he has arrived, but it's easy to get overshadowed in a lineup such as this. Um, with that being said, I don't know exactly how Akeem is going to do versus, guys that placed ahead of him at the Olympia. I
It's a
think he can
bigger
beat
what if.
Brandon.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think he could. I mean,
I
Brandon
think he
took
could
ninth
too.
at the Olympia.
He technically already did.
Akeem took
Half the show.
the
True.
finals, yeah, and he's
Yep,
only one spot
that's
behind
right.
Bonac as well at the finals, which is crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you ever say Bonac?
But
Me, no,
no, that's how Jay Cutler says it too. Bonac.
Yeah.
Bonac, yeah.
Yeah, Akeem has been one of the factors with Akeem that I have considered in my predictions is that yes, he's definitely in shape, and he's been in shape for quite some time, but therein could lie the problem. When you stay too conditioned for too long, eventually your body's going to say, listen, no more. Will this be the show that that happens? I don't know. Akeem pushed very hard in 2024. I think he'll probably get away with it this show, but after this, it's time to shut it down until the Olympia.
Thankfully, he can because he's qualified. But anyway, I think that's it. My most undervalued guy. Let me take a look at the list one more time. Let me make sure I'm not missing anything.
My other guy, before you give yours, my other guy is Bonac
You
because
get
he was
one.
seventh in the Olympia. No, I get two. The other guy's Bonac because he was seventh at the O, and like that's a high placing for a stacked Olympia lineup, and he really brought it. So, and working with
Yeah.
Stefan for longer, it's like Bonac could be fourth place to
He's
me.
not even
Like,
tagged in the Arnold Classic poster. Oh, because
yeah.
there's a limit, isn't there?
No, he should be able to tag him.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm like, I don't think it's a limit of 10.
Damn, that's man, he's even overlooked by the own competition. Here's something he
Savagery.
posted today.
Give us a look.
Stop, Ed.
It's pretty good.
Yep.
I hate when people see like a moderate improvement. Like in 2022, Bonac's career was dead because he looked awful. But I hate when people do make a little bit of a comeback and say, "Oh, this is the best he's ever looked." This does kind of
Yeah,
look
no.
more like OG Bonac, like TFE Media says down here. Like it's actually he used to be sharper. I'd like to see him, but I don't think it'll be an issue for Bonac. I don't think he's gonna miss. He's done this before.
But he said there as well, how many weeks out of the O am I out? How many weeks out am I here or something? So I don't know if that's actually,
Oh,
you knew. Go back to it.
you're right. You're
How many weeks
very
out from
right.
Arnold Sports is the picture above? One day, all the late nights and early mornings will pay. Okay.
Yeah, you're right. That makes me even more confident. This picture also made me really confident. It's the leg size because that's his biggest issue besides the
I
shape,
feel
which
like it's
always
come
was.
back. Does that not, does his legs not look better
He
than
won't
like
No,
hold
they
5 years
do.
on.
ago?
He won't hold on to as much. He's 40 years old. The prep is gonna hurt anybody at 40 years old. But he's at a very good starting point because actually this isn't even a starting point. This is 3 weeks ago. So this
Based
kind
on
of
these
sign,
photos, I'm changing my predictions.
yeah,
That's
there you
fair.
go.
No, he has regained a portion of his former glory. I don't know if he's regained it entirely, but this is going to be the best version I think that we've seen in a few seasons.
Mm.
Yeah, I think that's entirely fair to say.
I wish he'd flex
Bonac,
this
it's
better.
fair to say.
Please flex your rec fem. Please, for the love of
Well,
God, I am begging.
Yeah.
I hate
Good point.
that. I hate that so much.
yeah.
Good point.
He'll never do a traditional ab and thigh ever.
He shouldn't. It'd
No,
be better to
he shouldn't.
take
Yeah.
a semi disqualification not hitting it correctly.
Would Carlos
For
Thomas
him,
look better
yeah.
hitting it this way?
Yes.
No, no,
No.
no.
Think about Carlos showing off that. Big Ramy used to have a great side oblique shot, but he hardly ever used it.
Really?
Yes.
Pull it up.
I don't know if I can look up Big Ramy's side oblique.
I'm going to find it for you.
Definitely not.
Look at the
Big Ramy.
2017 Arnold Europe. Europe? Let me get it. Let me get it here.
Did you just get confused how to say Europe?
Yeah. Europe?
No, you said it like J Rock on Trailer Park Boys. Europe? No,
I don't know.
I need Mark here.
Can't find the.
I've never seen it. Yeah, we need Mark here.
To be continued.
Yeah.
See if you can find that picture.
No, I think. Oh, checkers and rallies. You guys have that in Canada and Australia? Checkers and rallies?
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, that's a
Never heard of it.
But I could imagine him putting his arm up on that sort of one. You know what I mean? Like, if he puts his arm up there and then pulls a quad out,
Perhaps.
focus. I can see.
Yeah,
I can see what you're saying,
perhaps.
Dylan.
No. I'll find a picture. I may even put it up. I don't know where my accent is coming from. I may even put it up in post because I think people when I first saw it, I was like, where did that even come from? I had no idea Big Ramy could even do that. Let's go ahead and let me switch to theater mode. We'll go ahead and share the screen and I'll pull it up here.
Does this mean I'll be off the screen for a little bit?
No.
No.
What kind of question is that? He did look good at this event.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
he
think
did.
so.
That was under Aceto, wasn't it?
2017, maybe.
2017. I don't know.
I believe so. Because I remember Aceto being backstage and there's a photo posted by RX Muscle. Why I remember that so clearly, I don't know.
This was really good.
Yes, it was. Yes,
This
it
was after the
was.
Olympia where they called him medium Rami. I think Louis Marco or someone was calling him medium Rami.
That's crazy.
Right.
But leading up to that Olympia, Aceto said that he had like all these, sponsorship commitments and stuff like that, like, 4 days prior, and he had a photo shoot out in the desert or something like that. And he got in late. And I really don't think that was Aceto's fault for him coming in a bit
Yeah, it
flat.
probably was.
And then that Olympia that he did, where he did like an hour of cardio and trained abs the morning of prejudging, it's like that is the most stupid thing.
Who had him doing that?
Well, no one apart from Big Ramy went and did it under the guidance of Chad Nichols. But Chad, I don't think, was about that. And Ramy apparently just likes doing cardio. So he went to the gym, did an hour cardio that morning. And Mike Van Wyck actually said it on a podcast on, I don't know if it was Fuad's or someone else's. He said, yeah, I couldn't believe it. And I saw Big Ramy that morning doing cardio and then training abs. And he's like, is that Big Ramy? Oh, you found it.
Because this is my video.
Oh, it's like...
And obviously, like, the
Yeah, that's
posing
pretty
could be
deadly.
so much better, but like that is actually really good.
Yeah, he just needs to hit it different.
Right. Look at the feathering in the oblique, because Bonac's obliques are like short because he has a short torso. It takes up like it's like this big. His obliques are this big. They can get shredded, but I would have Ramy even half-assing it over Bonac here, honestly. Oh yeah, look, there's me.
Dylan, you look different there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Was
look
this
like
back
10 years
that?
older in that.
Did you see that? That's a good side oblique shot.
What's
But
he doing with
anyway,
his hand? It's like he forgot what he does with his hands normally.
yeah,
It's just
most people
Yeah,
do.
kind of.
Okay.
Depends.
So we've talked about who we think is the most overrated, most underrated. What we have
Yeah,
here next
we've-
is
No, please continue. This is your chance.
what we have here is how we're going to make our predictions. My predictions. So this is a pairwise comparison. Some of you may have seen this. Basically, I put in all 11 competitors besides the amateur guy, and it will give me A and B of every single matchup in here. There's 55 different matchups, and I will vote this guy or this guy on every matchup. And although these may not be accurate, we're predicting a bodybuilding show, they're usually accurate as to how I want my predictions to look. And in a big lineup, it's like this is the best way to do it. I know people are like, well, things change in a lineup. There's no better way to do it. I'm convinced. There's no better way to, unless you run a simulation of every single scenario. And even then,
What about if you
you're
did
getting in the
this?
weeds.
What about you did this pickwise comparison and then you placed them into call outs and then you're like, this dude is just not going to look good in this call out. And
Well,
then you
yeah,
can make
we'll talk a little
adjustment.
bit about the overall list, but you know how you guys, I don't need to explain this anymore. I guess it'll
I know
show
what
me
you're
like
saying.
right here. Justin Rodriguez
Understood.
versus Patrick Moore. This is interesting. Did you guys know they competed together at their last show?
Really?
Legion Sports
I'm
Fest
trying
in
to, like-
2024.
I'm going to go for the
I'm not gonna
MMA
lie.
fighter.
I was trying to click it, and I know I can't.
Yeah, it's like, dude, don't you hate when you fill out a form and then you go to click the submit button and it just doesn't do anything?
I hate that.
Yeah, it just
Um,
happened to me.
Yeah.
Patrick looks okay
Oh,
here.
really?
Let's see.
Does he?
Well, I'm a big
He's looking
Patrick
bigger
hater.
now, I think.
I gotta rein it in. I find the NPC News Online website has been awful recently. Like it just does this.
Oh,
It's like
is it getting overloaded?
maybe, but like recently, like within a week, it's just been garbage. So we won't look at it. I will go with Patrick. Justin is beyond cooked, and Patrick beat him at the last show. It just stands to reason. Um, would anyone like to pick the Brandon Curry option here? Matt?
I wouldn't.
I'm going with D Dog.
Yeah, some of these
And,
are
brother
just
Derek.
obvious. Some of these are just obvious. Brandon
Some.
Curry. This is going to be an interesting one for some people. Brandon Curry versus Andrew Jacked. The people that are saying, "Oh, Brandon Curry's going to do so well at this show," are probably going to have him over someone like Andrew Jacked. So I don't have that
I just
happening.
think in the lineup is where Brandon will be hurt, and especially against a guy like
Yes,
Andrew Jack. But I think that individually, Brandon's going to look pretty sick.
Yeah.
I have Sean over Patrick.
Yep.
Okay.
Ooh.
I'm going to hurt myself tonight. um,
Shouldn't it be obvious, Dylan?
no, no.
Okay.
I know who I've got.
His recent updates, both guys'
Sure.
recent updates, don't have me super confident in them. This
Okay.
No. Go to
rep one. Rep
yeah.
one, yeah.
What, this doesn't make you feel confident in Sean Clarita?
Kenson said it earlier. I don't know if it was on or off the air. The legs
It was off. Yeah.
are questionable. Also, the stomach looks a little bigger.
That is the one thing I'm concerned about on Clarita.
The quads from the front are shredded, detailed, feathering,
Always.
great, but they just look smaller.
Mm-hmm.
It could be the
His
lighting.
weight's up. Yeah. I think
Could
the
be the
lighting
lighting.
kills his adducers, but I don't think he
Yes.
has big adductors anyway. Because seeing those
Yeah.
last shows, that was the one thing where when Lee was talking and saying, he looks like a mini Ronnie Coleman. I'm like, I see what he's saying for sure. But like on that side chest, the midsection looks a little thick to me. And considering this should be the depletion period, I'm a little bit concerned about that.
Exactly. One can look at this and say, well, he's carving up. That's why his stomach is full. Okay, then why are the legs flat? You can't have it either way. You can't have it both ways. I mean, you can only have it one or the other. We'll get to James, but I don't know.
But again, this was Carlos versus Sean. So
But Carlos's updates have me worried too. I got to be honest. Like, I don't think it's going to be on par with Texas, but it's not going to be like that much better. Like, to me, that looks like a slightly better Texas.
Carlos and Clarita are completely different. So what are they going to go for? Like a prettier physique and Carlos, or are they going to go for a harder physique and many ways smaller, I suppose,
Okay.
height wise?
relatively.
Yeah.
Carlos is a lot like Horse MD in ways. Sean beat Horse MD. I think I'm going to go Sean here.
Okay.
I have Sean as well.
Okay.
But
I don't.
Could go.
This is another good one. Oh, great. This is another. We'll take a
I have
look
these
at
guys side by side in my predictions, these two.
We can take a look at James's updates. We won't have to look back every single time, but we'll get James's updates out of the way since we haven't looked at them yet. Actually, this is one guy where I'm made more hopeful by the updates. You know what I mean? So, would you guys agree? Would you concur?
Oh,
I
yeah.
agree because he's going to fill out more as well. And James, when James is flat, he looks nowhere near as good. And I'm assuming that 4 days out, he's not at his fullest. That's for sure. So,
Right.
I mean, the other thing is as well, in this lighting, James's legs, like, yeah, they look better than Clarita's for sure, but they don't look overly huge here either, but they look hard. So I'm like, maybe it's partly the lighting and it takes a little bit of the adductors away, like Kenson was saying. Because then, yeah, they look sort of popping and they look pretty decent
Actually,
there. But yeah.
I almost did this comparison, and I didn't because I do already have an answer, but James's new updates have me a little bit worried. I'm going with Akeem.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm going to say
fair.
Akeem too.
Better
Yeah,
structure.
that's fair. It's fair.
Oh, gosh. Man, they loaded up
Whoa.
the beginning. I have Bonac. I'm staying with the Olympia
Yeah,
placings.
me too.
I only
Yep.
changed mine
Just
to
now?
Bonac over Curry not long ago. So I've got my list here and I said,
Not
I'm
long
changing
ago.
my
You mean a couple minutes ago?
Yeah. Literally, when we looked at Bonac, I was like, yeah, shit, his legs look rounder.
This is a tough
Okay,
one, Kinson.
let's move on. Let's move
Oh.
on. Let's
Lumpsford.
move on.
Did you say
I mean,
Lumpsford?
he did. He didn't even realize it.
A shed for me.
I know where I would be, but it's
Kinson. Kinson,
the
I need some help. Please convince me. What
the kind of
convinces
help
you?
you need. I can't give you.
Okay. Xavier, why do you have James over Carlos?
I think that James, just the density factor, like when you see that side leg on James, I think there's going to be all sorts of stuff happening on that outer quad and the hamstring, the way it cuts in. I think that will look better. I think it'll have more conditioning from behind. I think even though James, some people say about structurally, like his back isn't crazy or his shoulder structure isn't crazy wide or whatever, I still think that back will have density, gnarliness, and just a lot sort of happening, especially when he fills out too, because you'll see here. And the glutes are thick too, like there's a lot of
Excuse me?
density there, thick glutes. And
Yeah.
he also has
Do you think
like,
they think they'd ripple?
oh, you can make them ripple. I've seen James make them ripple.
Oh yeah, because
Private setting though.
you guys do IFBB
Right.
AMA.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know what goes
And
on behind the scenes.
AMA stands for assault my asshole. So sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No,
I
I was
apologize.
trying to think of something too. That's a good one.
I got it
That's
quick,
a good
huh?
one.
Um,
I will never not think of it as that ever again.
great. I'm sure IFBB AMA
You'll
love
never
that.
be on another episode again.
Hell no. But yeah, like look at that. Like there's a lot
Yeah,
going on there, and in a lineup that will
yeah.
look gnarly as hell. And I just think that,
Just look,
like,
look,
yeah,
just look at James. Like, just look at the look on his face, man.
Yeah.
This guy is determined. He
yeah,
is super. He is the I know Samson is motivated, but I'm not talking about motivation. I'm talking about determination.
James has a lot to
James
prove here.
is he does have a lot to prove, but I don't think that he's out to prove it to anybody.
I
But
like
like,
this.
just look at him. He's
yeah. It
in the
looks cool, huh?
fucking zone, man.
Yeah,
He's
he's so
in the
hot.
zone.
If I was
He's.
James, I'd want a poster of that on my wall, just angry with your arms crossed. That lighting.
I kind of want a poster of it in my gym to begin with. To be honest with you,
Yeah,
like
your
that
gym
would
would
be
be sick to have that.
I kind of want a
Yeah,
body pillow.
yes.
a body pillow, James.
All right. I got it. Kinson, besides hopes and dreams, why do you think Carlos places it? I'm leaning towards Carlos here.
It's
Oh,
size, shape, flow,
I think it's the shape for
potential.
me.
Yeah, I think that more muscle than James as well. At the end of the day, it is a bodybuilding, and that's what a lot of people forget. It was just at the Olympia where Jake Wood himself, which I didn't necessarily agree with at the time, I still don't know if I do, but he said conditioning is the lazy way to judge. If you have conditioning over someone that has better shape, symmetry, muscularity, and flow, depending on the amount of conditioning versus those other factors, that's where the arguments are made.
and
A
Carlos could be a dark horse. Like once he fills out,
little bit
he's
racist.
working with Patrick Tour. He's working with Patrick Tour. That's like 90% of his lineup. Working with Patrick
Yeah.
Tour, like he's peaked Keon pretty damn well, and it might not be perfect the first time, but with those crazy proportions, the crazy quads, like
All
if
right.
Carlos fills out another 6-7 pounds, you never know.
Well,
But I'm on the shed bandwagon.
yeah, yeah.
And I understand why. I do.
You know, if I was looking to bet the what is it? Bet the under. This could be a sleeper pick right here. I'm not even joking. I'm
You're
not
not
even
doing it though.
joking. I'm not
But
doing
you're
it
not you're not
though.
doing it.
I'm not doing
No.
it. Andrew over Justin, William over Patrick, William over Justin. Okay. Does anyone here think Andrew will beat Derek?
I think he very well could.
I think so too. Let's take a look at Andrew.
I think he
If
will.
Andrew brings what he brought to the Texas Pro, I would pick Andrew, but it's not a guarantee. And he just wasn't looking that huge, during his prep.
No,
But
I
I
actually want
mean,
to look at Superset Man's video of. Hold on here. I want to look at these guys from the Olympia.
ah,
because obviously you're only as good as your last show. I did a comparison with him at the Texas Pro. And I had Derek, but I was like, I feel like Andrew has higher potential. The way I see it, Derek has better odds of placing first or third rather than second. Does that make
But
sense?
Why?
this is not a regular bodybuilding
Oh,
competition either.
because the height factor.
Right. It's
But
going to be the odd man out.
At the Arnold, we did see a couple of years ago, Nick
Nick
Walker.
in the
I
middle.
said the same thing. I said Nick Walker's not going to play second most likely. He's either going to win or be third, and he got fucking second. So it's like,
Yeah. Funny how that works. But the
yeah.
Arnold is traditionally judged a little bit differently than literally every other show out there. Aesthetics are heavily, heavily rewarded at the Arnold. It's a fact.
I
I
mean,
think Derek's
Andrew
aesthetics
cleans
are
him up on
great.
the Adam Thigh.
Andrew's going to beat Derek, I think.
Okay, never mind. I am no longer going with Andrew. I'm not gonna. I couldn't possibly agree with the worst guy in our sport. Um,
It's
let's take a look
very
at.
close, though.
Yeah, it's not gonna be a solid. Honestly, I'm surprised how little people are talking about Andrew.
Did you see that? Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah, we haven't seen the updates. It's the narrative. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's the
Yeah,
narrative.
I was going to
But
say that Andrew seemed to be I was going to actually say that Andrew was like probably the least hyped guy going into it, but you can't say that because everybody's got him in at least top two, top three. So it's not
right.
fair to
yeah,
say.
yeah, I could get that argument though for sure. Like it makes a lot of sense. I didn't even think about Andrew being the least typed. I think I just went straight to Bonac.
I'll just
Yeah, because he's in top two, top three predictions.
I'll go Derek
Yeah,
for
that's it.
now. I'll,
Yeah, you do that.
D dog.
Ooh, here we go. Here we go. This is an interesting one. And don't say it isn't. Don't say it isn't. Don't
It
say
isn't,
Samson has this on lock because he doesn't. How many points did he win the Olympia by? Not a perfect score.
wasn't it?
No.
Yeah. But Andrew Jack was fifth, and
Correct.
Samson's going to be. I'm
Andrew was
85% sure that Samson's going to be better than the Olympia.
I'm pretty sure
85.
Andrew's going to be better than the Olympia just because he's better at every single show besides the Olympia. I'm not even like Kinson running off of hopes and dreams. Quite literally, he's been better at every single show except his Olympias.
By every single show, you mean every single show outside of Texas. I mean every single show, meaning Texas pros for 3 years one. Because that Arnold he did, as much as people hype that, go back and look. He was flat as fuck. Because that was a flat look, man.
And the
he's
Olympia was
apparently like
watery.
25 or more pounds. Yeah, I know, but it still wasn't one of his pristine top physiques. He was
He beat Big
flat,
Ramy.
flat. Yeah, but I thought if Big Ramy didn't miss the Pittsburgh Pro guest posing, I think it might have been a little different, maybe.
Ooh, whoa. Get Jim
Do you
Mannion on the
not?
phone. Get this
Do you
dude
not?
out of a job.
What do you think, Dylan? What do you seriously?
I
What do you
agree.
think?
I agree. Big
Yeah,
Ramy should have been third.
he was not compared. There was no Gilco video of Big Ramy. It
Nope.
was like he didn't exist, and it's hard to find comparisons from that show outside of the video that Chad Nichols put up, which overwhelmingly by everyone was impressive outside of the judges.
Yeah. Um,
It's, for me, I don't know. That was weird.
okay. Guys, do you think, Kinson, you first, do you think Andrew or Derek has a better chance of beating Samson?
Again, being the Arnold Classic stage, I think Andrew has a better chance of beating Samson. I think
Okay.
Andrew is the
I beat my
most
wife.
aesthetic. I That's a different story altogether. But Andrew is arguably the most aesthetic bodybuilder out there right now. And the Arnold, again, awarding aesthetics. I think he has a chance. I don't think he'll do it,
Mm-hmm.
but
What
I think
percentage
that he
wise?
has percentage wise 80, 75, 75, 25 to Samson.
It's a pretty decent chance. It's a 1 in 4
I
chance.
think
That
that's I don't think Samson is I think Samson controls his own destiny. And I'd like to see him lock it in. Like if at the end of the year, if he's won both the Arnold and the Olympia again and he's like locked himself in, I can't say this anymore, but like he controls his own destiny. I don't
Oh,
think he's.
Samson update 28 minutes ago. Go look at it.
Oh, I'm gonna bust. This better be good.
I literally just checked to see if there's a Samson update.
Yeah, he usually does this before the Arnold. He did it last year.
Abs.
Yeah, they're not locked in there. Don't worry, they'll be locked in.
Oh, okay. Don't worry. They'll be locked in.
They will.
Like I said, 75-25. And this is exactly why I would say something like that, because part of that 25% leg up for Andrew is that Samson comes in not his best condition that we've seen as of late. Because the condition that he brought to the Olympia, if he brings that to the Arnold, no problem. He'll win. He doesn't have to be the most conditioned guy on stage. But if he doesn't bring at least that, that's where the door is left open for someone like Andrew.
Yeah. This is
Yeah,
the
no, I
advantage of
agree.
having
Andrew
your wife
also-
coach you. You know, you kind of. This is what I want. This is how I'd want Xavier to coach me.
Yeah, I'll coach you the same way, Dylan.
Yeah.
Reach around. The thing is with Samson as well, I know he dries out a lot at the end as too. Like, remember when he got on stage,
Yeah.
ripped his shirt off at the press conference, and everyone said he's going to be out of the top 5. It's like
They were
it doesn't
dumb.
really matter.
I stuck
Yeah.
with Samson
Is
more
that
than
what
most.
we're seeing with Carlos now? There you go.
I had Hottie winning, but I stuck with Samson more than most. I remember he did France, and people were like, "This is dumb. He might as well just end his career now. He's stupid."
Your guy Giles wasn't a fan of it.
No, he wasn't. And then I was
I
like,
was a
"You
huge
wait,
fan of that.
Giles. You wait." And I was like, "Oh, this is great," because I knew he gets better back to back. Now, sometimes at the Arnold, that's not the case. I feel like it's an awkward amount of time. If the show was like, if it's like a string of shows, you know, but it's kind of disjointed here. You have 4 full months before the Olympia. It's like not a whole lot to grow, because he will, but it's like it's a very awkward amount of time. Um,
I will say that with Samson's prep, what he did, and I don't. It's hard to differentiate what he's told me and what he's posted on his story because it sort of all blends together. But I think he said a lot of this on his story as well, where he said he's pushing down hard to like 2 weeks out and then pulling back a little bit, almost, and then going a bit harder again and depleting and stuff. So almost like replicating as if he had a show 2 weeks out in a way, you know, almost that was the depletion point, or 1.5 weeks out. It's like he almost had a show, and then, you know, sort of starting then to, you know, pull back on the cardio a bit so he doesn't have that tired look to his physique, which I think was something that was holding him back. Just that continual push, and then load under previous sort of coaching and stuff. So I think he's just got a better approach for that peak. So I think with Samson, because he is a guy that, you know, typically could hold water more, but I just think the more he competes, the more consistent it's going to be. So that's why I think I'm 85% sure, maybe 80% sure Samson wins, but there's that 1 in 5 chance, that 20% where a Derek or Andrew could jump in and win this. And I think Derek has just as much chance, if not more chance than Andrew Jacked to beat Samson, just because he's different, you know, like Andrew and Samson are a bit more similar. So I think
yeah, it can work either way. And we've seen it work either way.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
What do you guys think of this?
Yeah, I think there's poses that Andrew can beat Samson on for sure. Front double, side chest, no way. Samson will wipe. That's the
Samson
problem
wins
for
that
Andrew.
one.
I will say Andrew's back was very good at the Olympia.
It was much improved. Andrew's back has improved
Yep.
a lot.
Yeah.
Still doesn't beat Samson, obviously, but
He might legitimately now.
there is no, I don't think so. I think Samson's back is improving too much.
I don't want that one.
Just that overall pose.
Yeah, maybe the overall pose, but Andrew's back is underrated.
Okay,
I'd say it's
Dylan. So
underrated now,
who do
too.
you have? So who do you have then?
Oh, hold on, I
Who are
want to
you
see
gonna
the.
give it to?
I got to see the back shot. I want to see the steamy back shot. Oh, look at this! Look at this. Back double. Do you?
Oh my God.
Back double goes to Andrew.
Double.
Do you smoke crack? I don't
Do
think.
you smoke?
You do, Muhammad.
But he could. The posing with Andrew.
Superset man owned him.
The posing with Andrew. It's just like your back could be every one of your shots could be so much better if you Why are the little things not fixed? Why are you not talking to Chris Aceto about this, Xavier?
Me?
Yes.
Why is Chris Aceto not talking to Andrew about this? Um, yeah, I mean, yeah, the posing is annoying because it's like if he rotated a bit more, pull the elbows up a tiny bit, that changes that pose because the flow of the pose looks dramatically better on Samson. But is that just a posing thing or is it the actual flow of the entire pose? It's like it's hard to say.
I'll go with Samson for now. Patrick Moore
Of
versus Andrew
course.
Jack. This is a tough one.
Hmm.
Derek. Okay. I have, they're both not very pretty physiques, both very complete and conditioned physiques. By Bonac being bigger, I think he has to be ahead of Sean.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, agreed. And his
Um,
legs are better too.
Bonac versus James. I also think because they're both structurally not that good, Bonac has a better back, probably more consistent on condition. Bonac should win more times out of 10.
I have Bonac in my predictions over James,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it could go
I
either
think
way.
so. Yeah,
Okay.
Andrew.
Thank the Lord. Andrew Jacked. Um,
Derek.
Derek. This is an interesting one. I think logic tells me to put Bonac ahead for now, but if Carlos can beat someone, this is kind of where it's going to stop. Like, because by that logic, you'd have to say, okay, Carlos is seventh in the world currently. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. It's a big jump.
And Kenson's like, he's first in the world. He's first in my heart.
You know,
Um,
what's really interesting is every time Carlos comes up, you talk about how interesting it is because the possibility is there. So at least
Yeah.
you're
correct.
acknowledging that to a
No,
degree.
the possibility is real, but he is a mortal man.
Does Carlos have
Uh,
the most variability
I don't think
in
I'll.
Yes,
terms of his placing?
him and James.
Yeah.
Yes,
I would say Carlos has, yeah,
third,
the most variability for
Yep.
sure.
He could be literally
third.
last, which
Yeah,
in this case is ninth because no one is getting beat by Patrick or Justin.
I don't think so. Yeah,
But
I'd
he
say
could.
there's a chance Patrick could beat someone
It,
if they miss it.
yeah, someone out
Not
in
in
the
a
parking
prediction.
lot.
That
that
was
for
a good
sure.
one.
Yeah,
That was good.
Samson over Akeem, James over Justin's just so cooked. This is an interesting one. I think I would go with
Say Bonac.
Bonac.
But it could go either
Bonac.
way. Akeem's big and hard. You
Well,
know
that
that's what I
makes two
like
things
doing.
in this podcast. So, but was Akeem
I'd go with Bodak. Yeah,
okay? Akeem at the Big Man Pro, was he that much better than the Olympia? He was better, but was he like that much to catch Bonac?
no, I
I
don't
don't
think
think so,
so.
no.
Oh, Akeem got beat by Rafa at
Yeah, by
Romania.
one place.
He shouldn't
Was it one
have,
place?
but by that logic,
Yeah.
I'd say he still is out of he's out of reach. So Bonac beats him. Okay, now this is one where Kenson really has the potential to do something crazy.
No, I don't. My realistic expectation is still that Samson's going to take first.
Okay. James over Patrick. This I think Curry's being massively overvalued. I can't bring myself to put him above Akeem. Oh, can I?
I have Curry above Akeem.
I'd probably go with Hakeem.
Man.
That conditioning man is unbelievable, and he has the proportions from top to bottom, tried, tested, and true. Brandon doesn't.
I think if they'll let anyone beat Curry, it'll be someone like Akeem, someone that's earned his stripes.
You're right. You're right.
Mm.
But who should
I
go
just,
for it?
yeah, I'd Brandon. I'd
Okay,
Brandon
this is a
just
better one we
because,
could this is a better one we can talk about. Because I think this is where the rubber meets the road for me. I think I have these guys like fifth and sixth. At least
Okay.
I kind of did a soft one. I think Brandon probably still gets the edge. He's going to get the edge from me backstage.
Well, that's different.
All right.
No, I still say shape, symmetry, proportion, muscularity. I Brandon is
Politics?
great through the upper. I feel like there's less of that. Well, less of that, but more than that, I don't know if Arnold likes Brandon better than Carlos in particular. I don't know. Being a former Arnold Classic champion, maybe, but being slaughtered socially, I don't know if Arnold would give a shit. Um, Probably not. He's Arnold. No, add up all the criteria and what Carlos should be bringing, and I go with him.
Yeah, I get what you're saying for sure. Whenever I place Curry high, people need to understand it is not because I like what Brandon is putting out now, nor do I think it should be that rewarded, because I don't think it should be.
Hmm.
But he does get rewarded. Like,
I think we're going to see a very conditioned Brandon
I think that's
and a
going to be the
bigger one.
edge. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I
think
think
he'll
I
have
got to
more
go with
Okay.
that.
pop and roundness. I think conditioning, like his glutes are going to be in.
I'd put Brandon above Patrick. I'd put Sean above Justin for sure. Um,
Carlos.
yeah. Ooh, oh, what do we have here?
They
Come
they
on,
put
Dylan.
Carlos in this so much. I swear.
I know. I think it's because we point out I point out every single one because I'm trying to make a mockery
May
out
as
of
well.
some of my guests.
You may as well just put him in the thumbnail. You're obsessed with him, man.
Um, how bad would you feel for Curry if he got beat by Justin Rodriguez?
Bad.
I'd feel terrible.
That sounds
No
mean. But
respect,
yeah,
no
Justin.
disrespect to Justin. No disrespect, man.
Samson over Justin. Akeem over Patrick for sure. Akeem over Justin. Andrew over James. Brandon over Samson.
No.
Ooh,
Ugh,
okay. I did this comparison. This to me is Akeem all day.
Yeah, I became.
I don't. But yeah, that's fine.
Samson over Patrick. Oh, I'm interested. Do you have these two right beside each other, Xavier?
These two. No, I've one guy between them.
Hmm.
I have
Sounds like
Curry.
a fun night. You have Curry ahead?
Yep.
I would agree. I did this comparison, and I agree.
Yeah.
Um, this is it. This is probably it.
Samson.
I have to. It's just the math. It's like
Yep.
I don't know. Even if Derek improves, like what are those improvements? Slightly bigger legs and slightly better condition. Does that beat Samson? I don't think so because he was already beating Samson condition wise at the Olympia overall. But
Mm.
Samson's condition was solid enough that it didn't that he won on everything combined. But Derek getting even better condition, I don't think is something that sways it. If they're not
I don't
picking
think
Yeah.
so.
Derek, if they're not picking Derek now, I don't see it. Would be really
Samson
interesting.
has to
No.
Samson has to slip on conditioning.
That's possible.
It is possible. I just don't think it'll happen. Like looking at this photo now, like I'm zooming in on it, and you look in the chest and like just above like the abs and stuff. It's pretty well cut in, and I think
Well, you
this
guys are
photo
friends.
is
Do you know something I don't?
Samson. Like I've said, like Samson seems quite confident, and yeah, I think he's going to be like we've seen other updates and stuff, and I don't think the midsection is going to be an issue. I think he's probably it like yeah, he's not holding it in there like exactly and squeezing the abs, but I think a lot of the time when you pose in a gym, this can be mid shot where Mel's you can see Mel's adjusting him, saying like pull your quads out there, like make sure you flex up here,
Is that what she's
and you
saying?
can see. Well, yes, I can. I'll yeah, I'll check in and then ask her. Are you telling me?
Confirm that yet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you see the rec fem, how it goes up through there.
Yeah, that's what she's touching. She's
There's
like,
those.
she needs to get on
Yeah,
Bonac for doing the same thing.
yeah. She needs to touch Bonac's rec fem.
Yes.
But you see how it goes up into his hip and stuff. Like you're not seeing the necessarily the dryness and detail. Well, you're seeing the detail there, but I just think once he dries out, and this is not Samson filled out as well. I just think that he's not holding his midsection,
I'm
sucking it
getting,
up. But
I've never been, I am picking Samson. However, the last time I was this confident about someone was the 2022 Mr. Olympia, where I picked Rami to win.
mm,
I'm getting flashbacks.
Okay.
I'm getting PTSD.
Okay.
yeah, but I just, I don't know, man. Like Samson even said, like Mel's made this prep harder as well. I just can't imagine him missing disgustingly unless something dramatic goes wrong. Gets
Yeah.
sick, he eats the wrong food, gets a stomach issue or something. I feel like it'd have to be something like that.
Okay.
Yeah,
A
okay. Samson for sure.
few more here.
Yeah.
Samson over Bonac. Andrew over Bonac. Um,
Brandon.
I think so. It's
Yeah.
kind of like the same
Yep.
argument I used with William and Sean.
Brandon's too pretty to round.
Okay.
Derek.
Justin over
Carlos.
Carlos.
Carlos. Get the fuck out of here.
I did this comparison. James versus Sean. A lot of people pushed back, and I had Sean.
I
Okay.
have the shed in this one.
I think the updates may have changed my mind.
Yep,
Yeah,
the updates
I
have changed.
agree.
Do you know what's funny? I was real big on Sean's updates, but reviewing them with you guys, like taking a bit more of a look at the legs and thinking about Sean in the lineup a bit more. And James is tall. James is 5'11 ish or so.
Yeah.
Sean is five what? Like
Two.
honestly, he's 5'2". That's a big like Sean is hard to place in a lineup. And if
James
he
will be
does
100
have
pounds
any
bigger.
issues, yeah, if Sean's legs are a bit smaller and look, Sean's going to be bigger. Sean's weight is up. And the last time Sean's weight was up, it wasn't great and the midsection came out. I mean, if the legs aren't
That's
any
right.
bigger as well, that means it all goes on the upper body. If it all goes on the upper body, how much of that weight is in the midsection? Now, there's a lot of muscle on that upper body and it is very thick and very dense, which is super impressive. And I was bamboozled a bit by that. And the legs are striated on the outer quad all the way up, which may negate some of the maybe size loss just with age. But yeah, it's hard to play Sean Clarita, man. If he nails it and the midsection's tight, sweet. But look
People,
at on this side chest, look at the midsection there.
why does he do that? He does that. He's been doing that for a while. Why are you not locking your stomach in when you do the side chest?
I think people just don't realize they're looking at the rest of the physique. Now he may do that
His
on
coach
stage.
is there. How could
I
you be
know.
so foolish? That is dumb. That is low IQ.
I want to see if I can do a Stefan impersonation, but I don't have the confidence. I have to do it off camera.
Build up to it, yeah.
I wanted to show you something too, but I also got a little scared and didn't have the confidence.
Stage fright.
Yeah, I'm looking at the 212.
I tried to search for that bodybuilder that's competing in this as well, but won the Arnold last year. Cannot find the dude.
Ooh, I gotta be honest. The legs look bigger here than they do in the update.
They look comparable.
Yep, it's comparable.
Like this. What?
He was small.
He's got a
This
lot
is
more
the last
fullness
Olympia,
now.
right? Yeah, he's a lot fuller.
Y-
He's on
yeah,
that Jansen.
you know. Okay, you
Jansen
know what?
diet.
You know what's fuller?
What?
The chest.
Yeah.
Uh,
Massively.
the stomach. Okay,
But
and people are
really
saying
pull it in on stage. You know what
maybe.
I mean? Like sometimes when you're just
Yes.
in the gym posing, I know you said he's got his coach there as well, so that's a thing. But this could just, I suppose. But the thing is, like Samson's one. Samson might have just been hitting this and been like that, and he's just gone, yeah, I didn't hold that in or whatever, and didn't breathe it out properly. But Sean, this is a video. You know what I mean? It's not like we're just catching a bad still.
Yeah, people. This guy says people criticizing this guy's stomach. They're both literally carving up as we speak. Really? Because how much are you?
Well, Sean did say 100 underneath, so maybe they are carving up right now. They might be doing a front load, maybe.
Yeah, I was about to say he's 180 pounds. How much food is he eating?
He's 100. He posted 188 pounds.
Oh, that changes everything. That changes everything. He's winning the show.
Shut up.
Okay,
But I don't
I'm
think he's
going
going
with
to beat
James.
James either way.
I'm going
Yeah.
with James now.
Yeah.
I got to go with Akeem here. Could you imagine
Yeah.
the size difference?
Yeah,
I know
that's
the
I was thinking.
back, but like Sean will get killed in the front double, front lat spread, abs and thighs is kind of iffy for both. I like Sean's abs and thighs, but then the side shot's not even going to be close. So
No.
I feel like I'm coming across as a
dick.
Carlos Thomas Jr. hater on here, which I'm not whatsoever.
I think I've done very well at promoting Carlos Thomas Jr. here today.
I think you have too. Pretty
Me
much
too,
the
I love
entire
him.
show's been circulated around him.
I know, that's crazy.
Um,
And then Samson down it. Okay, and this is the last one. Andrew over Sean.
Andrew,
Well,
yeah.
Lee Priest would go the other way, I think, maybe. I don't know.
Yes.
But
Lee Priest did. Yeah.
okay, here are my predictions. Maybe I'll do. We'll lock it in. I'm gonna write them all down here on my thing I have.
They're not that different to mine, to be honest.
So I have in 11th Justin, then Patrick, then Carlos, then Sean, then James, then Sean, then Brandon, then Akeem, William, Andrew, Derek, and then Samson winning.
Yeah, these are very similar to mine. Do you want to know my predictions?
No, I don't give a fuck.
Okay.
I'm kidding. We're gonna write them down.
Okay.
Okay. We'll
So-
start. We'll start from the top.
Okay, so I've got Samson. Then I got Derek, Andrew, William, Brandon, Akeem, James.
Mm.
This one's tough. I'm gonna say Clarita, Sean, whatever you want to put there. And then Carlos, Patrick, and Justin. Amateur. Dude, his name's long. It's from Libya or something. What are you putting in there? Don't put amateur in 11th. No, I want Justin ahead of him. No, put Justin ahead.
Justin's not that cooked, man.
The triceps are pretty
He
rough.
placed 10th at the Copyright Strike Classic.
I'm not saying that he's not cooked, but he's not that cooked.
Bro,
Okay? He's going to beat the amateur. He's going to
Okay.
beat the amateur.
Kinson, what are your final
Okay.
predictions?
Number 1, Dylan.
Okay.
I like how you used to put the S there already.
Yeah, I like that too. But you know what? Can you just write mine for me, please?
Have a guess.
I only know that far.
Wait, can I
okay.
guess? Can I
Yeah, go
take a
ahead.
guess?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay, so got Carlos and Derek already taken. Oh, I'm gonna say
He's been hyping up Brandon.
no, he hasn't. William?
No, I haven't. No. 5th?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, that's
Yeah, okay.
correct.
Then shit, James or Akeem? I'm gonna say
He was.
Akeem?
No, he has James ahead.
James? Ah, fuck. Couldn't remember that.
Am I right?
James and Akeem.
No, Hakeem.
Oh, is this a last
Akeem?
minute
I was
switch?
right. I was right.
Yeah.
And James?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, James. Yep.
When did you decide?
Then Brandon?
He decided on this podcast.
I
Yeah.
did decide on this podcast.
You have Brandon and 8.
Uh,
Well, okay, Kinson, you can't put him any lower than this. It's insulting.
no, you're right. Yeah, Brandon. Yeah, Brandon.
Starting to get
yeah.
mean now, man. Then Clarita? Is that
And
Clarita?
that's it. And then Sean and Patrick. Well, which order do you have them in, though?
Oh,
Did you say Sean?
I said
Patrick.
I meant Justin Patrick.
Patrick Justin.
Sean Patrick Justin.
He's not
Yeah.
that cook. He's not that
So,
cook.
I
11.
pretty much guessed all your predictions.
Wow.
You
You're
did pretty good,
predictable.
man.
All right, I'm just going to
Show's
quickly just grab
predictable.
a drink of water. I'm dry as nuns.
Whoa.
You could
Mouth
say the desert,
after
and
not
that's
drinking
okay.
water.
Yeah.
Just say the
dry-
desert, okay?
No
Dry
one
as
would
the
say something
Sahara.
so disgusting and depraved on this
No.
podcast.
I'm joking, Dylan. I was just trying to hit a nerve with you. Just give me one
only
second.
has
I'm gonna
one.
mute myself.
Yeah, and it's when you put
But-
Carlos in third.
You've got as many. You've got as many nerves as Big Rami's triceps.
Ooh.
Oh.
So,
All right,
all
now
right.
you should walk away.
I don't think that's
Yeah,
big of an
hold on.
insult to me.
I love Big Ramy. He's a big teddy bear that should come back.
Yeah.
Is Big Ramy going to
Guys in
compete
your
this year?
fucking
If you
ninth
believe that,
place. Give me
you
a
should
break.
consider you should consider alternatives to living.
Okay. I'll be back in a second.
There's one.
Okay.
uh,
I think I want to switch
this
one of
is
these around.
yeah, I think you should.
I think I want to switch. I'm actually okay with Akeem ahead of Brandon. I'm pulling for Akeem. But
Okay.
the seventh, eighth, ninth, this is where I'm kind of getting hung up.
Yep.
I may put the updates I saw really did a number on me. I got to be honest. And you just got to
With
think,
Sean, right?
yeah. And they've only helped me for
Yeah.
James. For Carlos, it's like, okay, he looks as good as Texas Pro. Throw Texas Pro in here, and he actually does very well.
So you could give him a bump over Sean. You could swap.
I'm thinking that may be the move.
Yeah, I understand. Yep,
Okay,
I
well,
understand.
Sean beat Regan and who was that? Sergio. But I think Sean was maybe a little better back then.
He was better back then.
Do
And
you
I
think?
mean, look, Regan wasn't that good, and Sergio wasn't that good, really.
Oh, that's true. Okay, he recently beat Horse MD. Is James better than Horse MD?
Which show did he beat him at?
Prague.
Ooh, he was good in Prague.
And that's a
Yeah,
big
he was
guy.
pretty good.
That's a big guy.
Yeah. Yep. He was pretty good in Prague. The front double is great.
It
It's
won't be if the
pretty.
legs come up. If they don't come up,
Nope, it won't be.
it's
No.
gonna look really top heavy.
Yeah. Like you said with the midsection, that's going to be a problem.
And the
And
side shots, there's little he can do about it because he's 5'2" and he's narrow.
yeah. And this is just it. This is why he's placed so low for me. Like it's not because he's not good. You know, it's not about that. It's just it's a genetic factor when it comes to stature. And this day and age, it's different. You know, when Lee Priest was competing, it was different too. But this is what it's like now.
Dylan, you said you was going to pull for Akeem.
Yeah.
Sounds weird.
I'm
When
gonna do
Americans
more
say
than
that,
pull.
sounds
These are low quality pictures too. These look really low
Yeah,
quality.
you have low quality eyes.
Take your glasses off.
I could judge a show blindfolded.
I believe that.
Okay. I think Xavier, I'm hung up on 7, 8, and 9. Cause Clarita, he hurt me with his updates. Carlos,
I
I'm kind of indifferent. James
I would swap
bolstered by his
Clarita
updates.
and James.
That's kind of what I'm thinking. Maybe I go the full distance and switch Sean and Carlos. I mean, no.
You know, I almost had that
Actually-
exact same top six. I almost put Brandon in sixth after looking at Akeem, but I just think Brandon is more aesthetic.
Let me see how it
And I
looks.
think with Brandon being more aesthetic, it might suit this lineup a little bit better. But maybe not. Maybe because if William's up there in fourth, then maybe Akeem gets that comparison a bit better than Brandon. You know what I mean?
Man, our
I just
predictions
think
are really
that.
similar. We're only missing Brandon and Akeem. Or no.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of
Yeah.
romantic in a way.
Yeah. Considering how stacked it is, but it's like with these updates, it just sways you that little bit to make it easier. But then we're probably going to be wrong because they're updates.
Yeah, mine are probably going to be right because I'm right.
Henson, please. Okay.
We already know. You spent the entire show talking about him, man. Like, just stop
And I-
denying it.
And I put him in 9th. It just
I know.
sounds so it just sounds so
It
wrong.
doesn't.
Someone
it
has
is-
to
it
take it though.
is.
Someone has to
Yes.
take it though. It's going to
Someone
be
has to
one
take
guy,
it.
and it's going to be one
Emotional.
that it's going to be one guy that's quite good.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be a good bodybuilder that could be top 10 in the Olympia this year. That's like
Yeah.
facts.
Yeah.
So and that's crazy for an Arnold because normally, like an Arnold, you'll get some guys that
Like
don't
Mo
get me wrong,
Shaban.
crazy impressive that will be up in sixth and seventh and stuff like that a lot of the
Say
time.
it.
Not so much for the last few years. Like you had Antoine, but I think was very close. Could have been like fourth place, but was in seventh at the Arnold, and he just got jumped by Akeem, I think it was, or something like that, just because Akeem came back better. But there's like, yeah, there's a lot of good guys in the IFBB right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Good picks. Good picks.
this is our final solution to the final predictions. Okay. That's it. Honestly, very good Arnold Classic. Road to the Arnold Classic series. Good arc, good character arcs for all of us. We had Kenson out there in fantasy land saying just absolutely asinine things. And then you had
The truth
Xavier,
hurts, Dylan.
and then
Truth
you had
hurts.
Xavier on Assault My Asshole with James Hollingshead, and then now James is James is so much higher. Um,
Yeah, James gonna be third. No, I'm joking. Well,
Listen,
this is how unbiased I am with these guys. I love James, and I originally said James would be higher, and I originally said that Carlos would be higher too. Both are part of IFBB AMA as well. You know what I mean? So if I was sucking up to anyone, it'd be those guys because I really like Carlos and James, man. Like two of the nice guys out there, but this is not a nice guy contest.
yeah, it isn't.
This is the Arnold Classic.
good thing because Dylan would have been kicked the fuck out long ago.
I don't think I said a positive thing about anybody. It's basically just like who sucks the least.
Do you know what's funny? Like these guys are like the best bodybuilders on the planet, and I find it like funny how we like break them down. Like he hasn't got that good of like where's his outer sweep?
I love
his
it.
outer sweep's still 10 times bigger than mine. You know what I mean? No matter what. But it's
Right.
yeah, it's
I don't even train.
yeah. It's like
I
when
know,
people talk about
bodybuilding's
Formula One.
great.
It's like when people talk about Formula One drivers and be like, people be like, he's a shit driver. I'm like, he's still probably no matter what top 30 driver on the planet Earth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You're still scraping
So,
curbs.
yeah, exactly.
I don't because I'm not a woman. But anyway, let's go ahead and end it there. Any further thoughts? How confident are you guys in your predictions? I feel like it's always going to be below 50%, but Kenson, what do you think?
You have to go below 50% with this because there's too many X factors. But that's part of, as I've said many times now, what makes it an exciting lineup because of the level of competition in this one show.
Hmm.
I concur.
Okay.
Do you want me
What's
to
your number?
Farzy fitness this one out? I'm
No, I'm all
what
right.
percentage. You sure?
Yeah, I'm sure.
I've got one loaded.
Okay,
I'm ready
okay,
for
go
it.
ahead. Go ahead.
Okay.
What do you have to
Let him
say?
do it. Let him
Wait.
do it.
I need to remove my camera because I feel like my face goes fucked up while I do it. Can you still hear me? Oh, that's a nice photo. What crazy predictions we have on this podcast. It was really great to see Samson up in first in everyone's predictions. But if he loses this contest, there will be a massive controversy. But at the Arnold Classic, we know aesthetics is king. And we really want to see those aesthetic guys up on stage battling it out for the title.
That's so good. Yeah,
Nailed
that's
it.
good. That's good.
Yep.
Was my
Nailed it.
best, but I'm a little dry.
Oh, that was really
It,
good.
it got better. It got better as time went on.
Well,
Second
Yeah, I was
half
messy at the
was gold.
start.
I appreciate you
nervous.
both for coming on. I appreciate you both for sharing your predictions, giving me some feedback as well. And I think we'll probably see each other after the Arnold, but of course we'll be talking all weekend long. Um, Make sure you subscribe to all of these guys. I know they'll be working around the clock to give you. Well, I was going to say good content, but I forgot Xavier was here, so they're going to be giving you content.
I'm down.
They're going to
No,
be
I'm
giving.
ready. I'm ready. I have my alarm set, man. I'm like, you know how bad it is for me to cover this fucking contest? Like the pre-judging for the Arnold Amateur, which I plan to be up for, starts at midnight and goes to like 10 a.m. in the morning. It is the worst. And then pre-judging starts at like 2 a.m. or something. It sucks.
Wow.
That is bad.
Well, good thing.
I literally complete opposite body.
Good thing you have a girlfriend to keep you up.
I don't have a girlfriend. You do.
Oh, my apologies. I forgot.
I have a girl that I'm dating technically.
Yeah, that's all of them.
All of them. Yeah, sure.
Right. What was I saying? Oh, subscribe to all these guys. I'll be live. I don't want anyone else to promote anything. I'll be live. I know some people on this chat may be live as well, but
Quick
I'll
question,
be
Dylan.
live.
How was your Valentine's Day?
Hey, Xavier,
What did
you
you get up
should
to?
Xavier, you should highly consider an alternative to your life. That's all I'm going to say. I'll say it
I
again.
can't. Okay, okay.
Consider non-living. But anyway,
Okay.
I'm going to end the video there. I'll be live all Arnold Classic weekend. We have Friday morning prejudging. I'll be live for that. That's for Classic Physique. Friday night prejudging for the Open, and then Friday night finals for the Classic, and then Saturday night for Open finals, the big shebang. And we'll
And
be delivering.
if you want something leading up to the show too, I might be doing some pre-show lives
I
this
don't.
time around.
I'm good.
Well, people might want it. I might have a special guest or two
never know.
on there.
Ooh, okay.
By
Okay.
special,
good.
I mean no one. No,
Well, I wasn't invited. I wasn't invited, so it can't be that special.
I haven't invited anyone. I haven't. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
it'll
Good.
be happening pre-shows.
All right. I love pre.
Men.
Yes. Okay, well that's going to do it for today's video, and I've had a great time using doing this Arnold Classic series. Could have been better, but
It was good. I ended up
well
tuning
done.
into some after our last podcast,
Oh, well, I
It was
appreciate
well
it.
done.
Thank you all.
and one before.
Thank you both for coming. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all in the next video.